In this video, I'm going to talk about Avogadro's law, and I know this is kind of weird, but we do hear my AC running in the background. I can't control it. Anyways, Avogadro's law describes the relationship between moles and volume. So, moles, also known as Avogadro's number, is 6 times 10 to the 23rd power. But if you want to be more specific, it is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd power. Okay, so you can use either one of these. Most of the times, on the test, you would use this number. But if you were told to use this kind of number, you also need to remember this. So I'm going to, just give me a second. I'm going to write it down so you guys can copy it. And yes, I would appreciate if you would copy some stuff, as you can't just learn by watching videos. You also need to copy, put it on your notebook, on a sheet of paper, wherever you like to write down your notes. So 1 mole is 6 times 10 to the 23rd power. Oh wait, this just means to the power of. So I'm gonna make it smaller. And moles are symbolized like this. So moles, when you're writing, you're going to use this N as moles to symbolize it. So you can take a second to copy those down. Alright, so have you ever wondered, so this is related to Avogadro's law, if you have a balloon and you fill it with, 2.4 or just 2 moles, okay? And the balloon is, let's just say, 6 liters. This is a bit ugly. Let me just adjust it. 2 moles. 2 moles. And this is 6 liters. It's 6 liters. What happens if you, let's say, add another 2 moles to the balloon? It's 4 moles now. And now you want to know how much liters it is. So you can use this formula that Avogadro invented. V1 over N1, let me get better. N1 is equal to V2 over N2. Now N2 is the number of moles. Like I said, moles is N. And the V is the volume, which is right here, the liters or millimeters, depending on what you use. And I just wanted to tell you very quickly, if V1, which is right here, is in liters, if V1 is liters, then V2 also has to be liters. If V1 is in milliliters, V2 also has to be in milliliters. But if V1 is in liters and V2 is in milliliters, this is wrong. You have to convert either millimeters to liters or liters to millimeters. So any is fine. It's just as long as they're the same unit, it's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna discuss some more about Avogadro's Avogadro's number. Avogadro's number 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd power. That is a quantity. Okay, it's not quality, of course. It's not anything, but it's quantity, so it's a object. So you could say that I have 1 mole of pencils, which is, considering the number, a lot. If I'm right, it's about, I'm not sure how I'm gonna write it down. So it's about 6 0 0 0 0 0. It's super long, 23 zeros, and I've never tried to pronounce it before, but it's a very, very large number. Now, you wouldn't usually use moles for like pencils or counting, but moles is usually for air molecules or atoms. Yeah. And now, back to the question we're going to solve. How much liters is it if it's 4 moles? So let me erase this. So you can use this formula. I'm gonna do this so you know what to do. And we know V1, which is not 2 moles, 6 liters. So you can write down what you know. So we can write down V1. We know V1 is 6 liters. And you want to include the liters, okay? As it's important, and I'll show you why later. And N1 is the amount of moles in the first balloon, which is 2 moles. So 2N, or 2 moles, so I'm going to write 2 moles. And we are solving for V2, so we're going to leave V2 undefined. N2, we know that it is 4 moles. Okay, so now that we know our stuff, we can put them into this formula. Now, V1 is 6 liters. Gonna over N1, which is 2 moles. And it equals to V2. We're gonna write V2 on the top over 4 moles. Now you might want to use a calculator because we're going to cross multiply. So we're going to cross multiply 6 with 4 and 2 with V2. So let's first do 6 with 4. 6 times 4 is 24. So I'm going to move down a bit. 24 equals, and we're going to cross multiply 2. Wait, just give me a second. Cross multiply 24 moles times liters. Wait, I could be wrong. It could be 24 liters times moles, but I'm pretty sure it's 24 moles times liters. I will go check later, but I'm going to leave this here if I got it wrong. So 24 moles times liters is equal to, we're going to times this, 2 moles times V2. And And to do this, you're going to divide 24 with 24. So 24, going to divide by 2, which is 12. So you're going to come to the conclusion V2 equals 12. Or if you want to write it like this, 12 equals V2. V2 equals 12. And since V1 is in liters, V2 also has to be in liters, so 12 liters. So as you can see, since 4 is a double of 2, then you also have to double the liters. And also notice that when the moles go up, the liters also go up. Okay, I think that wraps the part 1 or the introduction up. And I'm going to move on to questions. So I'm going to delete this for my next video. Goodbye. And I'm going to try to find the questions. Bye. I'll see you on the question side. Okay, so before you go to the questions, I just wanted to say that when I wrote 12 moles or the moles times liters, I was wrong. This is not how you write it. No. You have to use either the millimeters or the liters first. So you have a number here and liters times moles. That's how you would write it. But if you got your final answer, it would just be liters or moles. But I'll show you the number liters times moles later in the question side. Hopefully you'll understand. I don't forget to show you. Okay. Not really. See you on the question side. Okay, so I have the questions prepared. I have 3 of them. So the first one, you guys can, I'm going to do this, and then you guys can pause the video, and you guys are maybe going to do it by yourself. I encourage you to do it by yourself and try it, and look for the answers when I'm doing it. So, you can just pause the video and look at this. The next one. And the next one. Alright, good. Now we're gonna, hopefully you did the answers and you're coming back for the, hopefully you've done your question and you're coming back for the answers. So, let's do the first one. If a 40-liter balloon contains 3.6 moles, how much liters is the balloon now if it has 2.1 moles? So let's draw a diagram. That's not a pen. 40 liters. It has 3.6 moles. Okay, and it is 40 liters. And this one, we're solving, and this one has 2.1 moles. And it has an unknown value of liters. So how can we find the liters? Well, we use this formula. I'm gonna write it right. Hopefully I have enough space right here, but V1 over N1 equals V2 over N2. Hopefully my N's don't make you fail your classes, but it's really hard to write an N. It looks like a H. N1. Okay. So now that we have our, let me box it in blue. Now that we have our formula, we can write down what we know. So let me move down a bit. So we know that V1 is B1 is 40 liters. And N1 right here is 3.6 moles. And now V2 is that's the one we're finding. It's undefined yet. It's going to be a certain number later. So, and we also know N2 is 2.1 moles. Okay, so we can plug it into the formula. V1 is 40 liters over N1, which is 3.6 moles. Let me move over here a bit. And that is equal to V2, which is undefined yet. We're finding that. N2 is 2.1 moles. Okay, now we're going to cross multiply, this with this and that with that. So 40 liters, I have my calculator, 40 liters, you're going to times 2.1, which is 84. 84. And this is where the part that I was talking about before you went to the question part. Liters times moles. And this will help you, it will just, clarify some questions. Why is it supposed to be in liters? Why is it supposed to be at milliliters? It's going to, okay, whatever. Now we're going to multiply 3.6 moles with V2. So it'll just be 3.6 moles times V2. Or V2 just done. Okay, now we're going to divide each side with 3.6 moles. And the moles will cancel. And this side, also, you're going to divide by 3.6 moles. And these two will cancel. So I'm going to write it better. So these will cancel. And let me erase this. Just give me a second. Also, this will cancel as well as this one right here. So I'm gonna write again, moles. It's also going to cancel. So now you're left with liters for the volume. So that's why it's supposed to be in liters. If it's milliliters, V2 is in milliliters. Okay, so now 84. Let me divide it. So 84 divided by 3.6, and it's a infinitely long number. We're just gonna round it to 23.33 liters. So if I go back here, the first question for V2 is officially 23.33 liters. So that's our answer. Okay, now I'm going to delete all of this. Hopefully you understand so far, you're not having any trouble. I understand why you're having trouble, and if I don't explain things clearly, you might want to go watch more videos, or you can re-watch this video again. So, number 2, you have a 250 milliliter balloon. It contains 0.35 moles. We'll call that balloon Balloon 1. The second balloon contains 0.45 more moles than Balloon 1. What is the difference in moles with those two balloons? So, we are going to write what we know. We know that V1 is 250 milliliters, and N1 is 0.35 moles. Okay, so, but we're gonna find V2, which is still undefined, and N2, we need to do some math for this one. Right here it says the second balloon contains 0.45 more moles than balloon 1. So you're just gonna add 0.35 with 0.45, give you 0.80 or 0.8. We'll just write it 0.8 from 80. So now we know what the correct moles for N2 is. You can put it into the formula. So V1 is 250 milliliters over N1, which is 0.35 moles. And that would equal to what V2 is what we're finding. N1 is 0.80 or 0.8. Okay, now let's cross divide this with this and that with that. Let's first start with this one. So cross multiply, I mean. So I forgot to write moles right here. This is very important. Okay, so let's cross multiply. 250 times 0.8 is equal to 200. So that's 200 milliliters times moles is equal to 0.35 times V2. Okay, so you're gonna divide 200 with 0.35. And that would give you a decimal number. So 571.42 milliliters. Okay, so I hopefully didn't do it wrong. I'm going to double check. Yep. So our final answer is 571.42 milliliters. Our answer is 571.42 milliliters. Hopefully you got that answer. And the last one, it is, let's just say it's very maybe hard for some of you, maybe easy, not sure, but this one, number 3. Now do it yourself. Write a question about Avogadro's law. This way you can remember it faster. So for this question, like it says right here, you want to write a question related to Avogadro's law. So like I said here, this way you can remember it faster. It's very true. So if you okay. So you do understand Avogadro's law. It should be very easy and should get through it flawlessly. Nothing wrong. I'm not sure if there's anything called the Avogadro's law calculator. If there is a thing, you can search it online and type in the information you know and what you want to solve, and it should give you the answer. If the answer is right, good job. If the answer is no, you can write another question. Or if you're like me, I would just learn from the lesson and move on from that question. So that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. Hope you did enjoy, and if you did, you would can't speak English today. If you did enjoy, please consider subscribing and while you're at it, turn on the notification bell and like the video. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. Hopefully you understand. Bye.